chapter 12, this Uddhava Gita, Bhagavan describes about the behavioral pattern of the Varnas. They are all personification of some of the Tattva's principles, and through the Dvaita Siddhanta, through picturization, to make the common man understand, he expresses about the karmas and duties. Each varna depending upon his growth. Varna here also insisting that we should not misunderstand about the explanations. It may appear to be a division, but these divisions have been created only for the purpose of studies and any interlinking or interreplacement is possible. We must understand one thing, great secret of Vedanta, the great secret of this universe, the great secret of this Brahmanda. Everything is submerged in the Chaitanya. There is nothing out of the Chaitanya. When the sun rises, everything is submerged in that light. It's not that you are receiving the light. You have no option. You are submerged in the light. You are submerged or submerged in the light. Because whether it is, you call it enveloping because you are seeing external, but it is internal also. Through you, the sun rays are passing. So you are, when you are in the water, you are submerged. So you are submerged in the Chaitanya. In the same manner, I told you about this in the previous class. When we have a thought, each and every cell of our body is submerged in that thought. No cell in the body is separate from that thought. The moment it tries to go against that thought or deviating from that thought, even though it is not possible during the period of influence of that thought, but in the border cases when that thought is going off, another thought is coming, when that juncture of that point, there is a possibility of some cells deviating from the previous thought, the honesty, dependency to the previous thought, and some may, a fraction of a second earlier than the thought completes, may transfer themselves into the next thought. Some may transfer themselves with a delayed time. You see, before the thought is created, the information comes, some of them jumps into it, some of them are before that. That is a portion, what we call as deviation from the discipline. That's a deviation from the discipline, and whenever that deviation of the discipline takes place, that particular cell, that particular part will undergo an agitation and will distort its own position. How do I say it is distorting? When it distorts that position, a group of cells gets disturbed. Very simple principle, of course. But this is the principle. Nobody understands this. When there is a still water, you put a small stone, Even though that stone is falling only at a particular point, the surrounding, whichever ripples can reach, you see, because the strength of the stone that you applied on will all get disturbed, is it not? Similarly, in our thoughts also the same thing happens. That is why in all the Vedanta, in all the Vedas and Upanishads, they have told a beautiful word called Sthita Prajna. When the Prajna is sthira, there are no agitations, you see. You are absolutely synchronized with the Purusha and Prakriti. When you are absolutely synchronized, there is no agitation, there is no deviation. Whatever may be you are containing, it may be the body, it may be the mana, it may be the number of cells, it may be bones, it may be whatever you say. None of them matter. Let it be there. How does it matter? There are Panchabhutas in the universe. Everything is absolutely synchronized with the Prakriti and the Purusha. They are not deviating from each other. Thousands of years from the time of the universe has been created or universe has been born or is visible, there are no distortions taking place. Thousands of planetary system exist more than the human or the Jivatmas. There are planetary systems existing in the universe, which can be seen, which cannot be, thousands of them. Each one is functioning in its own discipline without deviating its principle, without colliding each other, without creating vibrational differential frequencies in each one of them. Otherwise, what would be the sthiti of Brahmanda? What would be the position of the Brahmanda? It is the same thing that suppose tomorrow the earth decides to take its own course of action and movement. What happens? A disaster, is it not? Same thing happens in the body. Why? Same thing happens in who controls it? Who controls the body? Who controls all your cells, all your movements, all your action, all your karma, all your everything? Thought. Same way. Everything in the Brahmanda is controlled by the Parabrahman. Everything. The highest secret of Vedanta, which cannot be understood, even though you have heard it, you understood. Language is very simple, but you have not understood it. Very clear. Had you understood, the moment you understand, you will evaporate from this physical form and merge with that Brahman. That's why I said with conviction that you have not understood. The day you really understand, the physical form is no more available. And only those physical forms are available who have, by choice, have adopted it in order to bring the peace and tranquility and upliftment of the spirituality in the Jivatmas. And their Sharira is seen only for those who have got the Sharira. Because for them, external, as I told you earlier also, for them, in order to convince themselves, in order to make that chanchala, agitated mind, viveka, buddhi and bodham, to make them understand a form that is traceable, a form that is understandable, a form that is convincing, a form that is non-agitative, a form that is acceptable to the system is seen by you. So, what is that form? It is only meant for you, that's all. That form doesn't belong to the owner of that. It's only for you. Like the tree bears the fruits only for others, not for himself. Brahman adopts this principle of different functionaries only for the purpose of the others in order to transform themselves. So each thought is penetrated and transforms each and every cell of our body. It is the Brahman, the whole Brahmanda is at that Chaitanya of Brahman. It is immersed in that, and every functionary moves according to, even though we think that we call the earth is rotating on its own axis, not because of the efficiency of the earth. Can you see it? The sun moves in the solar system along with the other planetaries, along the along with the whole system, the solar system. It moves number of times along with them. It's not because of the efficiency of the sun. The other planets are, solar system going around the sun. It's not because of their system. This is the greatest secret of life. Everything is immersed. But then, these explanations are absolutely necessary for a normal Jivatma. Dividing them, I call it as the sun, I call it as earth, I call it as star, I call it as dividing the 27 stars, now 29 stars. Astrologically 27, but that's why functionally only 7 stars are calculated in astrology. The 28th star is not calculated. Well, so these divisions have been created only for the purpose of this mind in order to transform themselves. So when I am describing this chapter, even though it is purely, it will appear to be absolutely bhautika jnanam, but it is absolute spiritual jnana. When you transform them into the language of spirituality, you have to transform that. You have to translate that language into it. I will just explain you few things like that. You have to translate it. Then only you will be in a position to really understand the principle of existence of Brahman. It's a wonderful chapter Bhagavan explains to us. So this is the fact, this is the truth. Then how, you may ask, how the individual reacts? As I told you, because of the distortion takes place from one unit to the other, it evolves in its own identity, not identifying the, right? When we are all here, how many, even though I have told now, how many of us really feel that we are immersed in the Chaitanya of Parabrahman? Are you able to know? When you are standing on the rain, when you get drenched, like you feel that you are drenched, you should feel that you are immersed in the Chaitanya. That's called the feeling, you see. Like when you feel, when the Agni is there, or the flame is there, and you feel the tapa, heat, being experienced by you, you should feel that Chaitanya. It's not possible. Why? Because the synchronization has not taken place. You, when you become conductive to the Agni, not that Agni has to be conductive, am I right? You have to be a conductor, then only the heat can be transmitted through you. Same way, you have to be the conductor in order to feel the Chaitanya. That conductivity, how can you create? Transparency, how can you create? By removing the non-transparent insulators from the system, from the jnana, from the understanding. It's the principle of the absolute truth of identification of Brahman. These are the words spoken for the Maharshis and the tapasvis when they do the tapasya. But I just gave you the glimpse of it before, just going through it. It's totally different. Yes. You may find it absolutely bhautika, materialistic, but it is not like that. It has to be translated, as I told you. And then from this similes and similarities and examples, we can place ourselves into various forms and shapes. There are no divisions. Divisions have been created for one to understand it. That's all. Nothing other than that. It's a beautiful chapter, but it's never explained in it is a part of Bhagavata, but never explained by anybody in Bhagavata. I have never heard anybody explaining about this. But it is beautiful. Everything is there. In Uddhava Gita, as usual, Uddhava with lot of reverence identifying himself as the most blessed person, because others have only spoken and heard about the Lord, where he can hear, even in the physical form he can see the Lord. With that bliss of him, so you can imagine what would be the reverence of one individual at that point of time. That is the status Uddhava is in. You should imagine that. How he must be standing there. Legs will not be firm on the ground. It's not possible. It has to fall down. He cannot stand straight. He has to be on the knees. Bhagavan, in presence of the Ishwara, in presence of that great Chaitanya, Uddhava Uvacha, Bhagavan, he requested Bhagavan. Yes, tvaya bihitaha purvam dharma-rupat bhakti-lakshanaha varna-ashrama-charavatam sarvesham dipadam-api yatha anushtiyamanena tvayi maktir-nrinam bhavet swadharmena aravindacha Vatsamakya marasi. Beautiful it is. Hey Bhagavan. Yes. Tvayam abhitaha. Hey Bhagavan, thou had already spoken of dharma, religion. Here religion means, he has translated in English as religion. It is called dharma. Here when I read religion, it is dharma. The righteousness is the right word, not dharma. The religion which makes for, what is that dharma? What is the purpose of dharma? Ultimately, to bring the devotion to thee. To make the devotion to thee, and his intent for all human beings, with or without the observance of, I have explained about the caste last time. What's a caste? Caste and order of life. What is order of life? Janma of life. Order of life means the Janma of the Jiva. Hey Bhagavan, please tell me, O lotus-eyed one, how by practicing the religion, dharma, for himself a man may attain to devotion to thee. You see, as I told you, this has come to the lowest form of the human being. He's only wanting to know how to attain the devotion to Bhagavan. Through that only, when a devotion, as I told you earlier also, dedication and devotion, samarpana bhava, only can attain you in these positions. So the first stage is that, hey Bhagavan, through dharmam, how can I attain that devotion towards thee? Bhakti, just to come in bhavana first of all, thought. Bhakti bhava we call it, you see. First is that in bhavana, in vichara, bhakti has to be there. In everything there has to be, bhakti is what? This again. Whenever I say, even though thousands of times people listen to satsang, bhakti means immediately they will think that they have to stand in presence of the God with folded hands is bhakti. That's why I gave you that introductory few sentences. What is devotion? What is bhakti? What is dharma? Bhakti is that, in my introduction, I said that everything is submerged in the Chaitanya. When that comes, automatically bhakti comes. But to bring that, it is difficult. But that's the principle. This is how the bhakti is. What is bhakti? Bhakti is not that you stand by folded hands, but by folded mind. Not by folded hands, but by folded mind. There should be, mind should not be open, even though they say open-hearted and open. That's for the doctors, opening the heart. It's not an open-hearted view, an open-hearted discussion. Has it got any meaning? Who wants your open-hearted discussion? Who wants your open-hearted meaning? Who wanted your open-hearted expression? Nothing. If I know, the Chaitanya is everything. They are all, yes, but they are all necessary. They are all languages. They are all representing certain things. The open-heartedness in the sense, just to be sincere. That's all. No, nothing other than that. Even though they have given a meaning to the heart towards that, sincerity need not be from the heart, from anywhere. So, Bhagavan. So what is that? What did I say? What is the devotion? I said. Devotion, as I told you in the introductory part of it, that identification. When you identify something is respectable from something where it has got high values, something which has got the highest form of the consciousness. Sorry. That Parabrahma Tattva, Parabrahma, we call it as Parabrahman. That Chaitanyam, that Parabrahma Chaitanyam, Parabrahma Tattva, which is guiding us in each and every small things. No, even in the bad things and good things, everything. The principle of the Chaitanya is the one which is the highest consciousness. The consciousness is functioning in each and every activity of ours, each and every thought of ours, each and every intelligence of ours, each and every functionaries of ours. Everything is because of that consciousness. So when I synchronize myself to that consciousness instead of, that's why I told you that you can convert, let's translate the language into the spirituality. I told you in the beginning that, you see, whenever there is a planetary system in a Brahmanda, even a small dust in the Brahmanda is changing before it has been told to change, because the information comes first. Sometimes it is faster, sometimes it is slower. Slower may create less damages, but faster will create lot of agitations, because you are already, before something is being ended, you are already intruding into that. There will be an agitation of both. This, that borderline case. I told you the cells, how it is changing. Some people, when they talk, there will be incomplete sentences. Many of them are there. The last word is, it will go just like that. If you really notice people speaking, especially when they are fast. By the time the activity is over, the thought has already taken over, and the activity of that thought has already introduced into it. So the fulfillment is incomplete, unfulfilled, and trying to take over the other has created an agitation in dharma, in function of the cell. When it creates the differences in function of the cell, the function of the previous cell or the function of the cell in the previous thought and the future thought will get distorted and will always get the habit of doing the same thing. Children, small thing. Children stammer, even elders, older people of course, starts from childhood. Children stammer out of, there's a psychologist classification, is because of authoritative, either it is parents or somebody who is taking care of them. Suppose the child is in the hostel, it's the teachers, authoritative parents, authoritative guardian is the reason why the children stammer. Emotional disturbance, we call it. What is that emotional disturbance? Have you analyzed it? What is that emotional disturbance? We can understand external something is being disturbed. What is that emotional disturbance? When an emotion comes, it is being suppressed, is emotional difference. Am I right? I would like to talk, but if father beats me, if father punishes me, if teacher punishes me, that fear of thought, the thought of expression is suppressed by the fear of thought that somebody will punish him, will delay the pronunciation of the next word or next sentence is called stammering. Alright? This is exactly happening in every individual's life as far as the synchronization with the Prakriti or Brahma is concerned. Is why there is a distortion. That's why Sthita Prajna is not there. That's why I said that there has to be Sthita Prajna. To act as Sthita Prajna is very easy. Many people may act as a Sthita Prajna. I am steady-minded. By the time you say steady, the mind has already traveled to so many times of unsteadiness. Prajna has to be Sthita. Why there is no Sthita Prajna? Why we are unable to do Sthita Prajna? Lack of knowledge. Ajnanam, avidya. There is no Brahma Jnana. Ajnanam is the reason why there is no Sthita Prajna. One, to be sticking to one thought, to be one with that. How can I stick to something which is not right? Is why the mind is keeping on changing it. See? Because mind knows it is not right. So it keeps on changing. In Sthita Prajna, only the right will be there. To be firm, grounded on that, because from that jnanam, everything is revealed. That's called Sthita Prajna. So then only the devotion is possible. Bhakti, even though people call Bhakti Marga, is very easy. But how many bhakts are there? How many devotees are there in true sense? Not external expression of devotion that makes it a devotee. It's an internal system. Each and every cell has to be in the process of devotion at one point. That's called the devotion. Otherwise it is distortion, it's not devotion. That's why the distorted state takes place in the Sharira and Mana. And we get into this distortion is called the falsehood of understanding, or which is known as ignorance. When there are clashes between two before it is time, you switch over to the other like a stammering. When the confusion takes place, what happened? Everything is distorted. The jnanam, it becomes ajnanam. Same word, slight difference. The jnanam becomes ajnanam. This is how the ajnanam is created. Once the mind is practiced that or experienced that kind of experience every time, the mind repeats ajnanam and everything is understood through ajnanam only. A stammering starts, continues till he is unable to understand that. And when the day one works on him and makes him understand, loves him and makes him comfortable, come, take your time. Take a deep breath, take your time. He speaks well. When he is calm, he speaks well. The moment he is slightly disturbed or agitated, he starts stammering. I know a grown-up man who was a very close associate for some time earlier when we came here, who had very severe stammering. He's a man with 2 children. I think he was in his 40s, early 40s maybe. He used to stammer, continuous. And he's a very good singer, pop singer. He has performed in that hotels and all, that Park Hotel and all. May not be for money, but he used to sing. The time when he sings, absolutely no stammering. You can imagine, otherwise, how can he sing? Singing means he has got beautiful voice and he sings very well, and when he's singing, nobody can say he's stammering. Immediately after that, he starts stammering. Immediately. Same way in our life also, we are all stammering actually. Because you have not synchronized your system into that devotion. The moment devotion comes, what happens? When he is singing, his total sthita prajna is concentrated only on singing, and at that point of time, he doesn't think. He doesn't even see, he doesn't think that who will say what. He only knows how to sing, that's all. His mind, his function, everything. So what happens? The stammering is not there. Otherwise, what happens? Whenever he sings, talking, oh, will this be accepted? Will not be accepted. This fear will stops him, suppresses him. So that's why I said, when an emotional suppression takes place, it's called distorted emotion, or is why the devotion is not proper. So devotion, that's called, see, now you understand what is samarpanam. Samarpanam cannot be, in samarpanam there cannot be conditions. When there are conditions in samarpanam, that's a blockage and it creates stammering in the system. That's why they said unconditional bhakti, unconditional surrender, unconditional, everything unconditional. There cannot be conditions on that. When there is no condition, what happened? It takes over the condition of that which is called, where is the existence is there. After the stone is thrown, after it has created enough ripples on top of the water level, when the stone has travelled downwards into that, at a depth when the pressure of the water from all the sides is much more, initially the pressure was on the stone. Now inside when it goes, it is the water pressure that makes it absolutely stable, and it is the water and the gravity that it is taking the stone down. While it is travelling down after certain level of the depth of water, does any disturbance happen to the water? No. Have you seen any ripples after travelling that? that happen? It will not happen. It will straight away sink, straight away, that's all. And goes down, once goes down, after the agitation is over, again the water on the surface becomes still. It's over. Same way. Our thoughts, even though there may be agitations, that's why they say travel, go inside, they said. Inside means not into the liver and the intestines and 2 kidneys and then again come out. Not like that. Go inside in the sense like the stone traveling under the bed of the ocean. Travel inside where there are no agitations or none of the external sources can create any agitations at the depth of the water, at the innermost of you. Only where are the agitations taking place? Only superficial, that's all. External, that's all. That which is external is what is called mind. The disturbances can happen only in the mind, not inside the depth of it. When you do the meditation, when the mind is no more there, when it is not there, as I told you, folding the mind takes place, no more disturbances takes place. This is the secret. Now, even though the language is understandable, it has to be perceived in the system. Then only it's possible. But yes, that's what people cannot do. If that could be done, then the stone becomes the ocean. That's all. The stone becomes the ocean at one point. So the devotion, how? By practicing the religion. Why did I say all this? By practicing the religion, that means by practicing the dharmam, one, a man may attain devotion to thee. That's why the practicing is necessary. That's why for the human beings who are unable to attain that absolute Brahman, the rituals have been introduced. Through the rituals, he is learning, to get the religion, to get the dharma. In everything there has to be a ritual, is it not? We are all telling, there are so many people who think they say, oh, I don't believe in rituals. It's a very common word. I had been listening for a number of years. I don't believe in rituals, so I don't do any rituals. For them, the rituals means what? Only certain small things. Maybe going to temple or bringing flowers and doing puja, doing aarti, lighting the lamp, or doing sandhyanamam is a ritual as far as he is concerned. You ask him, what is the ritual? You ask him. The man who says, I don't believe in rituals, you ask him, what do you mean by rituals? He will say these physical actions. These physical actions have been introduced only to make the mind understand. These physical actions are meant for making the mind to undergo the ritualistically, the dharmic way of practicing. That's all. Dharma. At a point of time when Maharishi Vasishtha doesn't follow any ritual. Neither he lights a lamp, nor he sits and prays, nor he meditates, nor he does anything. He keeps on walking. The Shrutis come, he puts them down on the leaf. He starts speaking, the words flow from him. Brahma Tattva, Brahma Jnana. The Sthita Prajna, he is always a Sthita Prajna. No rituals for him, it is not necessary, absolutely right. Their rituals are not necessary. The one need not to practice to do something when he already knows about it. Today you don't write that 4-line, you don't take that 4-line notebook, where you write Some of them should touch the topmost line, some in the middle line, some the third. Cursive writing, or whenever we start learning. Do we write today? Today probably if they ask you to write, you won't know how to write. Well, forget about it. What is the purpose of that? It's only to know how to write that. So now you know how to write, you don't have to do that. Vasishtha has already reached that stage. Why should he light the lamp? Because he himself is a lamp. When he himself is a lamp, what is the necessity of he lighting a lamp? He is a lamp in presence of the Brahman. For them it is not necessary. The rituals are, they are the rituals. Rituals are everywhere there is a ritual. What is ritual actually? Sthita prajna again. To walk, there has to be a ritual. You cannot walk like this, you will fall down. To walk, you have to have a rhythmic ritual. One step, then the next step. When you are taking your son, small child, when he was small, take him in by hand. Take him to the park or somewhere. Sometimes he gets excited, so what happens? He keeps jumping. He enjoys it and he jumps. What do you say? What do you tell him? ठीक से चलो नहीं तो गिर जाएगा. What is that ठीक से चलो? He is already walking. He is already moving by jumping. What do you mean by ठीक से चलो? What is that? Ritual. There is a ritual. My father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather had been walking only one step after another step, not both the steps together. That is what you mean by ठीक से चलो, is it not? He says, forget, you are old, that's why you are doing like that. I am young, I will jump. Is he not right? Tell me. You with 2-3 steps you are reaching there, he in one jump, he has reached there. Who is right? Small thing I am talking about, you see. ठीक से चलो. That means there is a ritual to walk, then only you will reach there without falling, otherwise you can fall jumping. You can jump. Once you have learned walking properly, then you jump. But now you are small. From there, in each and every activity, there is a ritual you are following. From time to time, certain rituals keeps changing because of the time. Certain things are not possible. Otherwise, there is a ritual. Sit and sleep on the sofa. Hey, why are you sitting and sleeping? Lie down and sleep. Tumko kya hai? I am sleeping now. It's a ritual. Why? Because when you do that ritual only, your system will be straight, your spine will be straight, your system will relax properly. There will be no tension on any of the muscles, in a different posture. And when you relax, then only the total body will get relaxed. Otherwise, sleeping is not the purpose. The total relaxation of the sharira of each and every part of the body has to relax is the purpose for that. You have to lie down. It's a ritual. You can say, I will sit and sleep. It's not ritual. Do you understand ritual now? What is devotion? Each and every activity, there has to be devotion and dedication. In each and every activity, there has to be samarpana bhava. You put one step in front of you, take the another step and move to the next step. Your consciousness, in the subconsciousness, there has to be an inherent awareness. I am moving because of that absolute consciousness which is directing me to exactly follow the way it has to be as far as the discipline is concerned for the purpose of Dharmam. That is dharma. Following that, consciousness is called dharma. For the purpose of activity, in order to attain the devotion and ultimately attain the Brahman and Brahmajnanam, is called dharma. That is called religion. To follow that is called religion. So, the one word of that is it. This is why, how by practicing the religion, by practicing the dharmam, this is dharmam. By practicing that dharmam, I will get, or the people can get, devotion to thee. Thee means that highest consciousness or the Ishwaratva, Bhagavatva. You will start feeling in that devotion, one should start feeling the submerging of oneself into that Parabrahma Chaitanya. In that there is nothing other than that. Each one thinks, I am doing that. I am saving you, I am protecting you, I am teaching you, I am guiding you, I am doing this, I am doing. Everything happens. Nothing can be done. Yes, we can do. We do. Whenever we try to do certain things which is against the dharma, the distortions definitely takes place. All the distortions, kashta, dukkha, everything happens only because of the distortions that is taking place in our sthita prajna is the reason why it is happening. Otherwise, the words of kashta, dukkha and ajnanam, avidya will not be there at all existing. They are all there because they are created. I told you how it happens. Because of the proper samarpana bhava is not there. Samarpana being done, yes, everyone has got that consciousness. I am doing my samarpana. By the time I do samarpana, please, if you accommodate this, my request, my desire also, that will be nice. Samarpana has been stopped there. At the angle of 40 degrees, samarpana is completed. Another 60 degrees, out of 90 degrees, 50 degrees are left again. Again it has to come back. And again do samarpana. Keep on doing that. Samarpana bhava, that means unconditional surrender. Very easy. What stops us? I want to do it. I'm sincere. I want to do samarpana. I have no intention of cheating that. See, it's not there. I want to do samarpana to my Guru, to my God. I want to do the samarpana. Why am I not able to do? Mamattum, swarthada. These are the two reasons why we are unable to do. Mamattum, swarthada. Do you know the meaning? Do you know the meaning? Mamattum is what? Everything for the self, aham, mine, everything mine, mamatva, mine, mamatva. That's from there only the mamata has come. Mamata is attachment. From where it has come? From mamatvam it has come. If I am not there, where is the attachment to me? Mamatvam, mamata. Mamata has come from mamatvam, and mamatvam is the one first comes. The I-ness, when it is created, when the consciousness have created in the system, in the jivatma, when it has become a jivatma, the aham has been created. Aham is necessary. Aham has been created in order to identify one's own karmas and karma balas and fulfill that. For that, aham is required. But not for the desires. We have to have great classifications there. There are compartmentalizations in that. We have to very well carefully be executing that without deviating the discipline of LOC, line of control, in each department. You cannot violate that rule. See. You keep, then only the Sthita Prajna. Why this happens? Because they are all very, very, very thin layer, thin line classification, divisions. So one can easily spill over to the other. When you spill over to the other, you feel attracted towards it, and then slowly keep on violating each line of control. Reach a stage where returning back becomes very difficult, because then through the process of it, you start enjoying it. When I said line of control, suppose a soldier crosses the line of control of our borders. He's shooting that terrorist or somebody. I'm just imagining, giving you that thought. His attention is where? To destroy that, to shoot that. Does he know how many kilometers he has passed away from the line of control? He is not aware. Why? He was attached to that karma that he is doing. Mamata has come, is it not? He doesn't know how far he has gone. Only when a point of time has returned, have come, then he realizes, my God, where am I? Right? We all do that. In some way, not only in fighting, in other things also, we cross the limits and go far, and then we realize, oh, I should not have done it. I should not have thought of it. I should not have done it. I should not have told that. I should not have done this, done that. When you know that I should not have done. When did you know that? When you have done it. See, you already crossed the line of control. Sthita Prajna. When dharma is followed, when rituals are followed, from the small, when the rituals are followed, jnanam is inducted into the system, then there will be a check whenever you reach the line of control. There will be an electronic system functioning in you. Come on now, you have come to some stage where you are not supposed to cross. The other side is not that beautiful. I hope I tried to explain you the practicing of dharma in all this crude language. You see that, so through crude language, nothing other than that, to make us understand. You can use, a person who is very versed, well versed with the language, with kavita, things like that, he can explain you probably much sweeter than what I spoke, crude, straight way of explaining. Devotion to thee, Bhagavad devotion. Devotion is that samarpana bhava. In order to attain that, these rituals are necessary. For me, that's why I said, when people say rituals, we have got rituals, we follow certain. When he says, I do not follow ritual, is also a ritual. He is not following ritual. It's a ritual as far as he is concerned. He ritually follows that I don't follow ritual. No. As necessary. It is yes. Then Andha Vishwas is that you see, there are certain things which are beyond. That, of course, I do agree that they are not rituals. They are all, some people have created those types of blindfolded belief. Certain things are there which you need not follow, and certain, as I told you, rituals are those which change from era to era, from time to time. It is not constant, because the purpose is not to be sticking to the ritual. The purpose is that to practicing ritual in order to create devotion in you. So depending upon the time and era, these rituals can change. There's no problem. Yes, it's okay. It's all right. A man who is living in a city far away, those days, suppose you are in a different country where there are no, nowadays everywhere there are temples, are there? There are no temples. You cannot insist that in the village every day morning I go and bathe and go to the temple. So in this city also I must look for a temple. The temple you may find, but it may be about 200 kilometers away. Now you cannot visit every time. Fine, no problem. When you have holiday at one point of time, when you feel like, go and visit the temple. It's a ritual. Now, from the time and because of environment, because of time, because of situation, because of era, certain changes takes place, doesn't matter. But your thought of temple going should be there every day morning. That's ritual. That's religious. As you are doing it, you do it at home. Okay. Not temple going, something, whatever it is. It's not necessary that. That's why Hindu Shastras and Hindu system is so beautiful. Even if you don't visit your whole life in the temple, no problem. You are still the same. In other religions, they have got registers. You have to, roll call is there. You have to say, present sir, you have to say. Otherwise, you won't get place when you die. Not when you live. I'm just explaining you all this only to make us understand what is dharmam and what is the necessity of following dharmam in order to attain the devotion. And what is the purpose of devotion? What's the purpose of samarpana? Samarpana is not a weakness. Samarpana is a strength. Only a very strong person can do samarpana. A weak person is the one who cannot do samarpana. A weak person is egoistically blocked for him that to do samarpana. Whereas a strong person does samarpana because it increases his personality, not reduces the personality. But in the egoistic person, he thinks. Again, swartha and mamattva comes. I do samarpana. Sthita prajna. At any point of time, anywhere and everywhere, be that same. It's not that I speak here like that, here like that, here like this. Act like this, act like this, act like this. Always one. I talked about devotion quite a lot. Earlier also we spoke about devotion quite a lot because it's a very important factor in our life in order to take us to the direct path. It is not a permanency. Samarpana need not be done after you reach a state of Bhagavan. You will reach a state of Bhagavan himself. At that time you don't do samarpana. Not necessary. Because you have reached that stage where attainment of the result of samarpana is reached. But even then, for us, you see how beautifully, you see each and every small things, the Shastras and the Puranas have tried to teach us in one way or other. A story, you can take it as a story, no problem. As I told you, Sudama, Kuchela, walking after so many miles and after forests, difficult terrain and paths, he reaches Lord Bhagavan Krishna's palace. Lord Krishna's palace in Mathura. No? Or what is it? Dwaraka. Sorry. He reaches Dwaraka there. Places are not important to him. He reaches Dwaraka, Bhagavan walking after, because he wanted to see Bhagavan, and his wife told, you go there, gave her one bundle of puffed rice or flattened rice, and then said they give it because it's only that too have begged, borrowed from others and tied in an old torn cloth and given to give for him to give a gift. And all stories, you see, in each one there is a lesson to learn. In each and everything there is a lesson to learn. Why flattened rice? Why not something else? Why old cloth tied up? Why this, why that? Walking. Reaches there, I am not talking about it, I am talking about the Samarpanam, so I will not touch the details of that because it's a beautiful story again, I always liked. He reaches Bhagwan with his dirty feet because he didn't have the hush puppies those days. So he walked barefooted. He walked barefooted there, and once he reached there, it was dirty, bleeding after the thorns pricked and stones pricked and all that. Bhagwan never gets a chance to do samarpana with anyone. So that's very, he always feels like doing some, now he looks for a place where to do samarpana. The moment he got an opportunity, he got the Bhakt Kuchela's feet, put it on his lap and said that, come, let me clean it, let me wash it, let me take care of, let me bandage it, you see. He did a samarpana to the Bhakt. When Bhakt does the samarpana to Bhagwan, Bhagwan does the samarpana to Bhakt, is the principle. That principle will follow, and it is always followed. When the disciple does samarpana to Guru, Guru does samarpana to the disciple. It happens. No? That's a principle. It happens. And so I want to express myself on how important it is in our life, is why I am connecting all these bits and bits and putting them to bring another shape of it, you see. Don't think it is small or it is useless or it is small or it is only to listen to the story for some time, to spend the time. No. Very, very important in our life to guide our own life, orient our life into the right path and to reach that goal that you are supposed to reach. These are small actions which, if you can understand, it becomes in a fraction of a second you get it actually. You don't have to learn 100 years. This comes in a fraction of a second, that's all. This jnana. So Bhagavan, so towards Bhagavan, who is the Ishvara, the Bhagavan, is that Param Jnanam, that absolute consciousness we called it. It's absolute Bhagavan, it's an absolute consciousness where there is no flaw, absolute consciousness. Only through absolute consciousness, the number of these universes, the Brahmandas, could be controlled, because in everything and everywhere, as I told you, and at the same time, equally at equal rate, everywhere, this Chaitanyam is spread. And everything is guided by this Chaitanya. That's why even after the death of a human, even that soul also goes to the consciousness, because there's where to go. Even though we call it as heaven and hell and all that, they are all meant for people to understand not to do any bad karmas, because heaven and hell is again, every Atma goes back to the Parabrahman, or that consciousness. And in that consciousness it realizes its own flaws and takes different shapes and forms and take a birth in any form. It can be a tree, it can be an animal, it can be a person, individual, human, it can be a devata, it can be a devata, it can be a asura, it can be a guru, it can be what we call as godmen and all that. Any form and shape depending upon their karmas, he takes a form and shape, because in consciousness he becomes aware of that, what is necessary, and automatically he falls into that slot. It's all group. The heavier ones are flown below, the lighter dusts are flown above when the wind blows. Is it not? Similarly, the more good karmas flying above. That's why we say, oh, flying above. Nowadays he is flying above. Pura Kila Mahava, we can talk hours together on this same subject, and I hope you understand, you got the message. That I think you got it, so that's good enough. We have to establish it. We have to be a sthita prajna. As I told you, samarpana is a strength. Only a strong person can do samarpana. Who has got sthita prajna can do samarpana. Others will be controlled by their ego. No, I should not do samarpana. Yes, sir. Ego. By doing samarpana, your personality, as I told you, will increase. Your appearance will increase. Your karma phala will get dissolved just by doing samarpana and everything. But the ego stops you doing it. What happens? The mamatva or the swarthata, when the ego, what happens? The ego thinks that once I do samarpana, I become small. This is why it is making you not to do samarpana, is it not? That means at this point of time, you are thinking you are big. How big are you? That's right. I liked her expression of that. Beautiful. Like that only. This, then I am thinking I am big. It's very wrong. So all these are told only to make our mind. What for? I am telling all these small things as examples because our mind understands only this. And making the mind, into sthita prajna. These tools can be utilized for the mind to make it understand. Look, you are an egoistic mind. I don't want you. I can tell my mind, I don't want you. You are causing problem to me. Please change. Instructions can be given to the mind with this conviction of it. What is the instruction? How do you tell this? Because when you believe what I said now, all this, when you perceive it in the right sense, without any questioning on that, without any question mark to that, total acceptance, again, total acceptance, absolute faith. With absolute faith, if you perceive it in the right sense from the Guru Vani, that this is the truth, there is no truth other than this. If you have that perception in your mind, firm conviction in your mind automatically changes its path towards that, no doubt about it. Like we say in some roads, when we say that this road path is blocked for repairs, ahead is danger, the deviation, please take the deviation. Do you think 10 times, should I take the deviation or not? No. Instantaneously you say, I would like to drive safe, so better take the deviation. Mind will tell the same thing. Take that deviation towards the safety, towards the progress, towards the upliftment, towards the absolute devotion and dedication. Okay, this is the first sloka of chapter 12. It's beautiful. Please read. You all can read it. This is the first sloka. Yes, you can read. And try to understand with this you can understand. Try to understand. Pura kila mahabaho dharmam paramargam prabho yate namsha hamsarupena hamstrarupena brahmano bhyata madhava saidanim sumahata kalena mitra karshana na prayo bhavita martyaloke praganushasita Puragila Mahabaho, the supreme Mahabaho. Mahabaho means supreme, the great, or language. Hey, supreme, blissful Mahabaho, Dharmam, Paramam Prabho. Dharmam, Paramam Prabho. What is that? Blissful religion. Who is that religion? Who is that Dharmam? Who is the ritual? Who is the right? Who is that? Paramam Prabhu, you. This is same. What does it mean? Now, if you translate this, they say that the supreme and blissful religion which thou is the meaning of that sentence. What does it mean? That Mahabaho Dharmam Paramakam Prabhu, you are You are the dharma. If Bhagavan is the dharma, why all this complication of practicing rituals and then become dharma? That's why I told you to be very careful when you listen to Upanishad and Vedas. The dharma, what I have explained to you earlier, in order to create a cause for samarpana bhava, that dharma, here Uddhava says, that dharma is you. If that is you, where to do the samarpana? I told you here how to understand this sentence, how to understand this. I have already told you already. Everything in this universe is Param Dharma only, Bhagavat's Chaitanyam only. So how, when everything is Chaitanyam, how can the Dharma be separate from Chaitanyam? Is it? As I told you, it's a consciousness that makes you practice the Dharma. While practicing, if I realize that it is you who is the Dharma, is there any necessity of practicing Dharma? How do I do realize only? I do recognize only you. When I know it is you, Dharma is not required. This is the principle adopted in the case of sannyasa. I would like to connect it now. I have not told it earlier. When a person is taken sannyasa, of course, this I have explained a number of times. After seeing that movie, also I explained you. When he takes sannyasa, he has to change his name. He has to do tarpana for his parents, all ancestors, Pitama, Matamahi, everyone. You have to do the tarpanam and do all the kriyas, everything over. He has to do kriya for the self. Suppose his name is somebody Achyuta. Aham Achyutaya karmasya muktir bhavatu. He does the karma on that and samarpayami. All that is. That all those things are done the samarpayami. He does kriya of himself. Then the Guru gives him a name to recognize. His old name has been, he is dead already. He has been considered as that Duja. Duja. So the next Janma is what? He is a sannyasi. After renouncing, it's not renouncing, it's all renunciation only. It's a renouncing everything. He has done the Dharpana, everything. Why did I say this? Hey, Dharma, Paramam, Prabhu. When he as a sannyasi, when he realizes that he is in the position of the sannyasa, where his attention is only sthita prajna towards the Brahman, Parabrahman, and attainment of that, what is the use of his name, his qualification, his strength, his kula, his pita, mata, pita, his ancestors, his everything is all of no use. They were all necessary for me so long I had been functioning as a normal human being, executing the karmas in order to renounce or to complete the karma bhalas. So long that was there, my necessity of my name, my father's name, mother's name, my kula, my kirti, all this was required. But the day I took the dharma is Parabrahman, that day everything is vanished. Is the reason why this is the principle why when one takes sannyasa, all these are forgotten, all these are renounced. It's a physical action that is being done to make the one who is taking sannyasa, to make him conscious. Look, you are attached to the Bhagavan. Not that you are detached to these. There are two things. And renunciation, as I always tell you in meditation, that what is not necessary for me is renounced. What is necessary for me? To be with the Chaitanyam is necessary for me. When I am with the Chaitanyam, why should I be remembering about what was my name, which school I went, and what was my parents' name, what was my Pitamaha's name, what was my Matamahi's name, Pitamahi's name. Is it necessary? Nothing is necessary. Because, why? Not because I disrespect them, because today after renunciation, after taking sannyasa, I realized each one of them is a part of Brahman, Brahma Chaitanya only. They are not different from that. I identify them as separate only for personal gratification and personal qualification of the ritual. Again, another ritual. That ritual is necessary only to identify the Parabrahman. Once I have identified, I am entered into the field of Chaitanyam. Is it necessary all that? So is why a sannyasi, when he takes sannyasa, renounces every activity of his birth. His birth ended forever at that point of time. That means no continuation of birth, no recycling of birth. Is the principle why this system or the ritual of all these things are followed. They shave the head off, then dip themselves in the holy water, and then put the things, take out. If somebody has got Upanayanam, that is all taken out, thrown out. Clothes are taken out, hairs are shaved off and everything. These are all done only for the purpose of identification that you are no more that Sharira and Mana. You are with the Chaitanya. And as far as the ancestors and Pidamas and Pidas are concerned, they are all a part of this Chaitanya. There is no difference. There is nothing there. Actually, there is nothing. Everything is only a Chaitanya. It's only a distortion. This formation of the form and shape has been created. It's a distortion in the karma. That's all. And that executes its karma. Like you see, the desert. Mirage, what you see. You will see as if there is water. It's mirage. Exactly the same thing happening in our life. That's what they say. Okay. Pura kila mahabaho dharmam paramam prabho. You yourself is a dharma. Hey, Prabhu. Oh mighty Lord. Oh Madhava. Madhava is a name again for the Lord has been given. Well, due to some I will not go into that explanation. Go let's further. In Puranas it is mentioned why these names have been given. Didst once expound, so it is said, to Brahmana, to thy swan form, Hamsa Rupena. What is Hamsa Rupena? We will talk about it now immediately after finishing. Let me finish the paragraph. Has now a queller of foes, the enemies, almost ceased to be in the mortal world, owing to the great passage of time, even though it was once included. Now, these are the Prabhu's glorification of Prabhu. Hey Bhagavan, you are the Dharma. You are the destroyer of the evil. Asurigata Asuras. And Hamsa Rupena. Hamsa. Swan is the Hamsa. Hamsa Rupam. The one is not that he is in the Rupa of Hamsa Rupena, is that the one who is able to distinguish the right and wrong. The one who is able to distinguish the Jnanam and Ajnanam. Like Hamsam is able to divide the milk and water. In that same way, you are the one who is a Hamsa Rupena, is a qualification. Hamsa Rupena. That's why Hamsam, Paramahamsa, Swami, Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa is a title, is a position that is given. Qualification. Who is a Paramahamsa? The one who is Hamsa is the one who is able to identify the right and wrong. Paramahamsa is that the one who has reached in that status, who has reached the ultimate. Almost ceased to be there. So, hey, sa idanim sumahada kalenam mitra karshana. The time again. No, the time is you. The great passage of time is you, even though it was once inculcated. Everything, ultimately what is he trying to tell? That everything in the Parabrahman is you only, even though it's so. The confusion should not be there. Many people ask immediately, if everything is you, then what am I doing here? I should have been you. Absolutely right. You are also he. You are also that. Not different from the Chaitanya. No, but that's what I wanted to tell you again. In the Parabrahma Chaitanya, when everybody is engulfed into that and submerged into it, no? Who is bigger than whom? Is there anybody smaller than somebody? Is there anybody bigger than somebody? Is Guru big? Is Bhagavan big? Is disciple big? Is disciple small? Or the other one is small? Is a papi small? The punyatma big? All the same. Then what is this differentiation? Differentiation is only made by you, not by the Chaitanyam. In Chaitanyam, what did I say? In Chaitanyam, and as far as Chaitanyam is concerned, everything is same. But then what happened? Again, as I told you, the one who is the jnani, who floats above, the one who has got more density, who cannot be taken by the wind, so high because of the heaviness in them, they fly low. So the one who is flying low, when he is looking above, the other one is flying up, he says, he is above. That's all the difference. I hope you understand. That's all. Vakta karta vidananye dharmasya chudade bhuvi sabhayam api vairishchayam yatra mochidara kala. Hey Achyuta, Bhagavan, there is no other teacher. Nanyo, there is no anya. Teacher is not there. Originator, karta, vita, originator or defender of religion on earth than thou. No, not even in the court of Brahma. There is nobody bigger than you. Where the sciences are present in visible form. Vairishchayam yatra murtidhara kala, where in Brahma's hands are the Vedas, not the 4 Vedas. That's what Purana, according to that. Even where the sciences are present, that means these Vedas are present, even in that place, you are the one who is the most important. That means among Jnanam, Vedas means with means Jnanam. Vedas are the ultimate as far as the scripture and Vedas, scripture is concerned in the Jnanam. And Brahma is the holder of that. So Brahma is the one, while doing, he has done the Srishti according to Purana, done the Srishti through this Jnanam. So all the Jnanam is there. That's why the 4 with Vedas. Vedas are only one. And it has been divided into 4. That's all. It's not 4 Vedas. Okay. Veda, that's the truth. Veda is only one. Jnanam is only one. Knowledge is only one. So Veda is only one. It has been divided into the number of 4 portions depending upon the activity of those areas for the convenience of the people to practice it. That's all. So Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharvana Veda has been divided into the four. So generally we say four Vedas. How many Vedas? Four Vedas. Actually it's a wrong answer. Veda is only one. With Jnanam is only one. These are all put together as Jnanam. And this division has been done by Veda Vyasa and Surya. It starts from many Veda Vyasa ultimately. Even part of, after that, later part of it, Adi Shankaracharya has done that division again. Because so many things were lost in the scriptures, in the actual one. So he had to add it to them and then divide it and keep it also. So he has got a part to play on that also. Okay, right. So what is that? So that's Jnanam. In presence of Jnanam, you are the most important. That means he is the one who has got acquired all the Jnanam. That means when acquired means in the sense what? He is the one who is a Jnanam. From him only the Jnanam has come out. The projection of the Jnanam. That's called the Veda. And so in the court of Brahma, you are the one who is supreme. Oh Achyuta, there is no other teacher. You are the teacher and you are the defender of religion. You are the protector of the earth. You are everything, even in the Brahma's court. That means the ultimate. Everything is you. Sixth shloka says, Kartra Vitra Pravaktra Cha Bhavata Madhusudana Tyakte Mahitale Deva Vinashtam Ka Pravachati. Madhu, the slayer of Madhusudana. Madhusudana means killing, destroying it. Madhu is name of a Asura. It came out of his body only. Madhu, kind of a Madhusudana. So he is one of the killer of Madhu. When the originator, defender, the expounder of it will leave the earth, religion too will die. You see? Will leave the earth, religion too will die. The rituals also will die. When? When you attain that supreme position. As I told you, for Vasishtha, there is no religion. As far as religion is concerned, as far as Vasishtha is concerned, there are no religion, there are no rituals, there is no religion. Dharma, because he is in the Sthita Prajna with the Parabrahman himself. He himself is the Parabrahman. When he is the Parabrahman, where is the question of Jnanam? Where is the question of rituals? Where is the question of Dharmam? Nothing is there. That's the thing. That's right. Then they are all that's why we call it as incarnations. Many of them are incarnations. Many of the gurus of these Puranas, when you mention, all the gurus are incarnations. The right guru has to be an incarnated. Because incarnation means what? It's not born. It's not out of their choice. It is not an individual. The ones who are incarnation. Vasishtha is not an individual. Vasishtha has been mentioned there as the name for us to understand that. Vasishtha is not an individual. Vasishtha is a jnana. That's all. Vasishtha is a jnana. Suppose there's a big jnana. That's with jnana. Who is a Brahman. From that, one portion, what we are seeing, a small portion through microscopic lens, we call it as a portion of jnana. That is Vasishtha. So we called it as Vasishtha. Like the atmosphere in Brahmanda, we have divided 8 dishas. East, west, north, south, southeast, south, northwest, northeast. What is that? When you, probably he must be doing, when you fly very high, man who flies. Where is east? Where is west? Instruments tell you where is east, west. Okay. Otherwise, in a Brahmanda, where is east, where is west? When you look at the earth as Brahmanda, in a television or in a picture. Which is east, which is west, which is north, which is south of the earth? Tell me honestly. Perception, all manifestations, perceptions, rituals. It's not for the purpose of convenience of learning certain rituals. The dishas have been created, only manifested. Yes. Originally, is there an east, west, north, south? There is nothing like that. It's all manifestation. I don't know when a day comes when we have to go to the moon. Probably we will not be there at that time. People are booking the seats, I think they already booked, no? Paying so many dollars. So when you go to moon, which will be the east of moon, I am wondering now. You see, that's my worry. I'm not worried about anything else. Which will be the east in the moon? What I am trying to tell you is that rituals and dharmas, they are all Parabrahman only, they are all Chaitanya only. Rest is necessary, yes. Do you think it is not necessary? It is necessary. According to this time, it is necessary because it's a perception that is necessary for us to execute certain karma. So, these manifestations, manipulations are necessary. So, Bhagavan says, Hey Madhu, originator, defended, expounder, O Lord, earth, religion too will die. That's why I started. Religion, everything will. When you attain the next position, the previous position dies. Yes. When you become Kaumaram, Balyam is dead. Then comes, then ultimately Vardhakyam and Manas. Then the others are all dead. Similarly, whenever you change your status from position, when the girl marries, the Kanya in her dies. Then some other takes position. When she gives birth to a child, the motherhood starts. She is considered as a mother. That status from the Kanya, she is mother. Then becomes that. Then is things like that. So each position is changed when you release that. We should understand that. Should not get stuck. People who get stuck on that will have to be born in the other yonis, number of janmas, and then again go into the same cycle. It's not. That's how people have found out. Just a relaxation to the mind. You're very serious. That's how people have found out this vacuum cleaners, Initially, originally, don't believe it, I just tell you. Originally, they invented only blowers, I have a meaning, I have a purpose for telling you this. When what happened, then they have closed the windows, they started blowing, all the dust, yes, it is cleaned from there, but that all dust come and settle down here. Here I cleaned, all settle down there, is it not? No, there is what is the use? It's only, I am only shifting the position from here to there. Then he said, no, then I should take it out completely, then throw it out somewhere. So he created a suction, so that in the vacuum, it's all sucked. Same way. What happened? When you blow, it only settles down somewhere here and there. It has to be sucked and destroyed. Is why, why did I say this? That the religion too will die. The rituals, the practices will have to die only after experiments. Sarvam na sarva dharmajna dharma sukti lakshana yada yasya vidhi yada tata varnaya me prabhu. Seventh, therefore, O Lord, who knowest all religions, please describe me which of us is fit for the religion which makes for devotion to thee, and how he is to practice it. My God, his question starts from there. He is asking about among us who are fit for that religion. Religion is what? Again, dharma. To practice dharma, who are eligible for that? So that he can make the devotion to thee, and how he has to practice it. How is that dharma to be practiced? Hey Bhagavan, tell us among us who is fit. There also a selection is there. Who can execute the dharma in the right manner? As I told you, he has to have mental preparation. No? That one should be ready for that. Sannyasa. Sannyasa is a word again. What is that? Satya Anveshanam is sannyasa. It's not necessary one has to wear saffron clothes to be a sannyasi. It's a status of mind again, a status of qualification again in you, that you would like to explore the truth in the Brahmanda, in the universe. He is a person who is a sannyasi. Anybody can be a sannyasi by that. When he is not intruded by other thought, that means he is dedicated to finding out exploration of the truth in the universe of about the Brahman. He is a sannyasi. Okay. So, I just wanted to finish the questions. So, questions finished by Uddhava. Now, he thought he has asked everything. Tired now. Then, where is this happening? What is the situation? The situation is that Maharishi Shuka is explaining the truth of Bhagavatam, how to attain the moksha mukti to Maharaja Parikshit. It's a situation. Okay, so we are coming to that. So that is why in between suddenly he says, no one sloka, Sri Shuka Uvacha. He is asking Bhagavan the question, where does Shuka come from? Should not ask him. This is the situation. So Shuka is telling Parikshit, hey Parikshit, this is what Uddhava asked Bhagavan. Then itam swabhritya mukhena prishtaha sa Bhagavan Hari pritaha kshemaya martyanam dharmanaha sanatanan. Itam swabhritya mukhena, Bhagavan's from the mouth of the swabhritya. Bhritya is that, although the literal meaning is servant, the one who serves, the one who has got faith, full faith on someone is called the disciple is known as a Bhritya. So Bhritya Bhavam means Bhavana of the service to the Guru, to the Bhagavan. So Bhritya is here, Bhagavan is the Ishvara, Bhritya is Uddhava. From the mukha of this Bhritya mukhena itham, like this, he heard Prishtaha sa Bhagavan Harihi. To Hari he has asked this Bhagavan. Pritaha kshemaya martyanam dharmana sanatana. Shukavacha thus asked by his own foremost servant, he says. Servant is not a bad word here, even though in today's language maybe different here. His own foremost servant is the prime position at that point of time. The first disciple, foremost servant. Disciple is the one who learns from him. The servant is also the one, not only he learns, he serves him. So there is a differentiation there. The Lord Hari was pleased and described the time-honored religion for the good of men. Time-honored religion. As I told you, from time to time, the religion or the dharma changes. So, The time-honored religion. The time is the one which is qualifying the dharma. As I told you in previous class sometime, the time is the space, time is everything, time is dharma. Samaya changes, dharma changes. Samaya changes, janma changes. Samaya changes. So we say that, in colloquial language also we say that, अभी समय नहीं हुआ, उसके लिए time नहीं हुआ. Time has not come yet. What is the time? The time is nothing but reaching a saturation position of the time. When a saturation takes place, then that event has to be completed. There is no more time, there is no more travel, there is no more space, there is no more nothing. So time has to come. When the time comes, it happens, we say. After happening, what happens? Nothing. That we don't know. It happens, that's the end of it, that's full stop. So, time, at the end of the time it happens, no more time. There's no more time. Time is required in order to achieve that what is supposed to happen. Is why he said, time-honored religion. Dharma is also time-honored. That's what I said. Dharma is for me and you. Dharma is not for Vasishta. Dharma is not for Vishwamitra. Dharma is not for Narada. Dharma is not for Bhagavan Krishna, Bhagavan Shiva. No. Why? Because we have not reached that time, we have not completed that. So that's why he has qualified it as time-honored. No, that's why Dharmanam Pritamata Dharmanaha Sanatanan. For the good of men, for the good of people who are living. Then after listening to all this, these explanations are there. Question is there. Sri Shuka has explained to Parikshit, hey Parikshit, this is the one. So Parikshit, very intently, very great devotee, great jnani, great tapasvi, and also great devotee, a faithful servant to the Lord, very attentively, without missing anything, listening to Sri Shuka, because he has to attain the moksha. So, excuse me. Then he explains what Bhagavan says. Now, next class we'll say what Bhagavan said for all this. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. In the 9th sloka, Bhagavan starts explaining about what is dharma. Let's see. That's what Bhagavan said. Om Shanti.